Hello everyone, in this lesson you're going to be doing a little bit of art. Not only will you be writing a poem, but you will also be coloring a picture. The picture will be coloring the periodic table. I'll explain how to do that soon. And the second thing that you need to do is that you need to write a poem. So the haiku that you're going to write today, just make sure that you do it on either plain paper or on construction paper. I prefer that it's not on loose leaf with the lines on it. And it should be done in beautiful block letters. Those are the almost three-dimensional all capital letters. And it's going to be used as a classroom decoration, so make sure it has lots of color and it's really beautiful. It's due the next time I see you, which I believe is a Friday. So when you're choosing the topic for your haiku, just know that your eligible topics are these several right here: subatomic particles, average isotopic mass, bright line spectra, natural or artificial transmutation, benefits and risks of radiation, or organization and trends of the periodic table. Just choose one of them, and then also a haiku has 3 lines, so one thing you could do is you could have a couple of extra ideas in the haiku, but they need to be related to the overall topic. So for instance, if I choose subatomic particles as the topic for my haiku may cover protons, neutrons, and electrons, all of which are subatomic particles. Otherwise, just know that haikus are pretty strict in terms of their formats, and it can only have 3 lines, and here are the 3 lines right here. Line 1 may only have 5 syllables, line 1 may have 7, and line 3 may have 5 again. So it's 5, 7, 5, and there's no way around that. So for instance, and this is going to be a terrible haiku, but let's say that I want to write a haiku about subatomic particles. And I know that subatomic particles are things like protons, neutrons, and electrons. I know where they are, I know what their charges are, so let me just say, I think my first line with 5 syllables could be protons and neutrons. That's 5 syllables. And I know that protons and neutrons each have a mass of 1 AMU, as opposed to electrons, which have basically no mass. So what I can say is that they give atoms their masses. And if you check, that's 7 syllables. And then lastly, let's say something about electrons. I could contrast that against I could contrast electrons against protons and neutrons' mass, and I could say electrons are light. So by the time I see you tomorrow, I would like for you to have a haiku written of your own, and you should color it onto nice paper in big, beautiful block letters. Additionally, by the time I see you, I want you to color in this periodic table. Hopefully I will have remembered to print you an extra copy so that you don't have to print it yourself. But the way that I want you to color the table is going to be on the next slide. So basically, you can color it to be almost exactly the way I colored it, but it is nice if you get really creative and use your own symbols and your own colors, but this is an example. So what I've done here is I've made a key for myself, and I said that alkali metals are red hatch, and alkaline earth metals are green hatch. Transition metals are blue hatch. Metalloids are black squiggle with a black dot. Halogens are green squiggle with a green dot. Noble gases are blue squiggle with a blue dot. And nonmetals are red squiggle with a red dot. I was careful to make the red dot for nonmetals on the top because many elements are both nonmetals and noble gases, or nonmetals and halogens, or nonmetals and metalloids. So I wanted to be able to make sure that I could show that an element was both of those things. So for instance, All of these elements, they appear to be alkali metals, whereas hydrogen isn't. On the other hand, hydrogen is a non-metal because it is the red outline with the red dot, but all of these guys are metals. They're alkali metals. Then I've got my alkaline earth metals, and I've got my transition metals in blue. And then black is where you start to get your metalloids. And then here with a red outline right there, those are all nonmetals. So they all have red outline and they all have a red dot. So that means that they are nonmetals. Same thing for helium and hydrogen. But in addition to being nonmetals, we have this group. There are also halogens, as you can tell there. And this group would also be considered noble gases, which you can tell by the blue squiggle with the blue dot. So that's my example. You could choose to color your table exactly the same way with no differences at all, or I think it's always better if you show creativity. So both this coloring assignment and the previous poetry assignment that also needs to be presented with an artistic flair, both of those art pieces are due the next time I see you.